What's up, fam? Doing a recap video about today, October the 12th. Happy Thanksgiving to my fellow Canadians. I didn't want to do a recap video today, but considering what's happening here in the market, figured I'd dive into some thoughts, what's happening, what's going through my mind, what I'm doing, and things that I'm thinking about. Last night on Twitter, I put out a tweet and I wrote, I've missed more than 9,000 trades in my career. I've lost almost 3,000 trades. Day in and day out, I've been trusted to lead hundreds of traders. I failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Obviously, this is a play on words in terms of, in reference to Michael Jordan's inspirational quote. That's the situation. Like you're going to be wrong, you're going to lose, you're going to miss opportunity. But it shouldn't change you from your confidence. It shouldn't change who you are. All this is a learning experience to be better prepared for the next time the opportunity arises. That's all it is. I don't do recap videos and tell you, here, like here's what might happen, all the wishy-washy stuff. And, you go on Twitter, you see everybody's posting all the time, right? They post the charts and then they come back and tell you about, the wins, right? Well, I go through 1,000 charts a week and I could come back and reference, see, I told you this was going to happen. And that's all bullshit. That's not real trading. Show us the real results, the entry, the exit, how you executed it. Trading is not just, you just show up, you do some charts and you win. There's going to be moments and times where the mind game is just too challenging and it's going to hurt people and it's going to end up costing them in the end. Right now, the market's done something extremely irrational. So we have to reflect back on the hope, fear, greed, regret. For me, the regret is the opportunity cost on this move that I've cost people that are following. It's not a loss, but it's an opportunity cost, which ends up feeling oftentimes worse than a loss. Considering I'm a bull, right? Generally, 90% of the time, looking for bull entries. And when the bull entries have happened and they're gone, and then you reflect back that you didn't really make too much, maybe you made a little bit, maybe you didn't even make, and you're like, wow, what just happened here? We're back at all-time highs. So I sit here and I'm dealing with that regret by not leading the fam to new all-time highs in their personal accounts, in my personal account. So that's my real struggle right now. I look at the chart and I just think about that Michael Jordan quote. This is going to happen. Things are irrational right now. It doesn't make sense. Now, you could say it makes sense. I'll talk about that. But continue to stay on the same path. Continue to follow the same rules that I've followed. Continue to trade based off of how I trade, using my technicals, having complete control of my emotions. And eventually, the good is going to outweigh the bad over time significantly, which has happened to me over my career. But right now, this is not just my career anymore. It's everybody that trusts me, everyone that follows me. So it's even harder now to watch an opportunity like this, run away, and not lead people to extreme success here. It hurts, definitely. I can't come on and just celebrate all the good wins and all the good times and not face the music when there's music to be faced. And that's what's happening right now. There's a huge opportunity here that's been missed. And it's basically because the SPX chart, since Trump marked this top here, every move to the upside, we've had a reason to wait for consolidation. And it hasn't happened. When you're in a trade, you're going to do one of two things every single time. Or you're going to do both. But guaranteed, this is what you're always going to do. You're going to look for a reason to sell. And you're going to look at your P&L. Every single time. So the way I teach is to understand that, right? If you were in the trade, what would you be doing right now? If I was in this SPX chart Throughout that whole process, I would be looking at my P&L and looking for reasons to sell. And this chart the entire time has given reasons to sell. And because it's given reasons to sell, it hasn't given me reason to enter. And because it hasn't given me reason to enter, I've missed this explosive move. Explosive move. Because I can't find the entry. Trump ruined this for me, and likely a lot of people, right at this point. Was going aggressive here, right at this point. And then since then, it's just been, it's running for 24 hours. It's running for 40 hours. It's running for 72 hours. And now we are running at a 96-hour clip here on the 8-hour chart. Is that right? Let me just double check this because this is what I talked about earlier. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80, 88, 96 hours without consolidation. I cannot find an entry. Every technical pivot has just been ignored. The technical pivots that were never ignored from the bottom. We don't have anything that looks like this. We have the inverse head and shoulders. We know this was a bull break. We were coming up to it here. We know this was likely going to go to an all-time high. What I was looking for, though, is the higher low before all-time high to size in big. You look at this chart here. This in here gave us a bull flag, gave us a consolidation period right in here, right? Higher low, bull flag, higher low, right? Over here, look at this run, right? This is a huge run, right? This is basically August, right? Look at these higher lows in here. Look at these higher lows. Okay, the only time we've seen anything like this was bear side, bear pressure. Off of our bottom, bull flag, higher lows. We haven't seen anything like this. This is an astonishing move. So unfortunately, there's opportunity cost. But the only thing I could say is it's going to happen. It won't happen very often, but you'll be prepared for it next time if something like this happens again because you've seen it now. I haven't seen this. This is insanity. But the market could stay irrational longer than you could stay solvent. Who said that? Right? Who said that? That is applicable today. It is applicable today. This is what's happening now. Now, the good thing is I haven't been swinging bearish. We haven't been swinging bearish. Because if you've been swinging bearish, this is dead. Like, you're dead. It's game over. Account blown up. And this is why I focus mainly on the bull side, but understand never to swing against momentum. Swinging against momentum is counter trend is very tough. I had a game plan, which I started on Friday, which was big order on SQQQ lined up for when that volume comes, we're going to hammer the order. We're going to kill this trade to the downside when it comes. It didn't come. There's no volume. There's no bear volume that came today. So what I ended up doing was I took a starter, which was 25% of what I wanted to do. This trade ended up being a loss. This trade, from a starter perspective, almost just from a starter, I wanted to get in 4 times the size. I showed you guys what it was. Maybe even more. Get into an all-in scenario if it was going to crash. The reason why I took a starter was that we're far too extended and we were coming up to these trend lines here, which I was looking for a reversal. Remember, on the weekend video, I was looking for a reversal over here. Right in this zone. That would have made sense to me. Oh, okay. It's ignored. It's gone. No jokes today. This like, I'm not saying it's gone as a joke. Like, this is serious stuff here. So looking at this, I'm thinking, and looking at this on the 15-minute chart, was right about this candlestick here. That's where I got in. Right about, right about one of these 2 candlesticks here. 11:30. I'm just going to go to the chat and verify that right now. But the reason was I wanted to take a starter. Yeah, it was 11:37. So 11:37, which was this candle right over here. That's where I got it because we're running. And I was looking at those potential pivot points. I said, I'm going to get my foot in the door because potentially this is just going to be a blow off top, right? And then I could add as we get in. I have a typical max loss for my trades. And I'm going to talk about the max loss scenario because it's just good for everyone to understand how to never blow up your account. So as you know, I entered in 5,000 shares of SQQQ. My average price was, I think, $19.94. So in order for me to never blow up my account and always stay in control of where the higher lows are going to be in my account and ensure I'm not being too stubborn, going counter trend too much at the wrong time because it's overbought, because it's too far extended, I take a max loss. I almost hit my max loss at the top, okay? I almost hit, so max loss for me is 5K on a common share trade. I cannot take more than a 5K USD loss on a common share trade. Something's drastically gone wrong for me to take that much of a loss on a common share trade. Like, what's happening here that you would take that much of a loss? It just doesn't make sense. Either you got in and it blew off on you and you weren't watching and you didn't have a stop loss and it occurs. But if you're in the trade, how can you let that happen? So for me, that's it. It's 5K. In an option trade, I'll never lose more than 10K. Something it happened a couple times this year. I think 3 times it's happened where I've lost more than 10K. And those are big errors on my part in terms of not having stop losses in. And that's it. Never let it happen again. And it won't happen again because I'm in complete control. And that's why I don't want to swing short overnight tonight, because I need to be in control of my money. I cannot lose the control right now when the market has no resistance. There's absolutely no resistance in the market. So to swing bearish, likely it should play out. But I don't want to test it because right now the market's been irrational. And it's gone too far irrational. So 5K loss was going to be my maximum. We almost hit it to the penny. And I was going to sell for a 5K loss where I knew the market's likely going to top out right now. For the short term anyways. For the short term. Because we had run too far extended. Let me see what this was. It NAS over here, 15-minute chart. So let me show you this. We had run too far extended. I'm watching the rising channel, which we have, and we're right at the top of the trend line. And we're making new highs here, but the RSI is not making new highs. Okay? We're stalling a little bit here in this case. So for me here, I'm just thinking, most likely we're going to pivot down from this point, and I'm going to sell and take the loss and realize it and eat it and let the market do what it's going to do. Because I have to respect my account. I have to ignore being stubborn and needing to be right on the trade and needing to say, no, this doesn't make sense, and go and add more. You could do that. Listen, you could have gone in and added more. This ended up being a 25-cent loss on the 5K shares. It was an acceptable loss for me considering the Apple swing. I almost gave back everything from the Apple swing. And mind you, giving back everything from the Apple swing, plus I missed the opportunity that Apple continued to go. Right? So, and I missed that opportunity. But I was going to accept the loss because I am not stubborn. Sometimes it just doesn't work. And it works against you. And if you added a second entry here and you added a third entry here, and then eventually you stop out and you can't take enough, and then it goes down further, you know, that feels even worse. But for me, my suggestion to you always is the market could stay irrational. The trade could stay going against you forever. You can use all the indicators, all the technical reasons, all the fundamental reasons you want. Sometimes it's just going against you. And you have to respect it and live to play another day. Thankfully, I just avoided that. I barely avoided it. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, wow, it's going to happen. I'm going to take a max loss on a first entry. Like generally, I take a max loss. It's like I've got my full size in. This is a first entry. And it's going to be a max loss. I can't believe what's happening here. Now, you could believe what was happening. You could. The reason why we're so astonished by the entirety of the move is because NASDAQ wasn't doing much. Well, the names we were watching, the big names, Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, they weren't doing much for the most part of this move. But then what happened? The plays we were looking for. What happened here? This was the reason for entry on Apple. Apple just started going. The Apple trade just happened. It started on Friday, and here we go. We got the follow through. So of course, The big name in the market that was consolidating, that likely saw accumulation, just started to run now. So of course the market's running now. What's Amazon doing? Again, same setup. This is why I entered on Friday. Because of what the overall market had been doing, it didn't allow me to stay in the trades because I kept on thinking I should be out. I should take the profits. I should lock this in because the market is likely to show us consolidation soon. I was wrong. I should have just focused on what Amazon was telling us based on Amazon's chart. I should have just focused on what Apple was telling us based on Apple's chart. The market didn't move in unison here. Some names moved later. The names that moved later were the most important names. It was Apple and Amazon. They were the most important names, and they moved now. And Microsoft moved too. So the market ran up today, exponentially. One of the biggest bull days for NAS this year, if not the biggest. Right? That might be the biggest bull day. I don't have confirmation. No, that was 6%, and here we are, 3%. That might be the biggest day since July. I don't think there's anything like that. So that's what happened. And that's the scenario. That's what played out for me. And unfortunately, there's a lot of opportunity cost. But there's going to be a lot more opportunity to come. The market is going to all-time highs. We know it's going to all-time highs. This move up here is further illustrating that it's going to be a huge run in all-time highs. So although it's a down day today where I want to grab my top monitor and basically throw it out the window, the old me likely would have done that 7 years ago. I'm sitting here reflecting that it's okay. There's good opportunities to come. We need a higher low. We need some form of consolidation. When's it going to happen? It might be all-time high. It might have to hit all-time high first. We're right there. We're not that far. The market's just about 1% away. That could happen. Or we're going to start the consolidation tonight, and then we're going to be looking to see what that looks like. So, moral of the story is, it's not easy. It's not just, hey, we post some charts and you make some money. It's not every day just buy the dip, and you killed it every day. Well, it has been buy the dip, but not everybody killed it this time. I did not kill it this time. That's the truth. That's the reality. You have to go through these reflections. You have to go through these thoughts to make yourself better moving forward so that when the next shot opportunity comes, we will take that shot again. And we will not hesitate based off of this and that from the past failures. Your failures are going to build you up to your next success. You learn from your failures. That's why we do reflection. There's a lot of trades still setting up. There's still a lot of opportunity to come. That's my thoughts right now. That's what I'm thinking. That's my reflection. That's what's happening in the market. Apple and Amazon now, it's going to be up to them. Are they going to continue to lead us to a new all-time high right now, right from here? That is a possibility. There is the possibility that the NASDAQ futures consolidate right from here on that 8-hour chart, the 4-hour chart, and that's where we close today, right? Right under it. So there is the possibility. This is where the channel starts. We reject it here, we reject it here, that we reject now. And let's see what's going to happen tonight in the futures market. Hope you're staying safe, making money, learning something, and ideally understanding that this is the part of the business. It's not always going to be payday, even when there is a payday to be had. Peace out, everybody.